today, it's all about Thanksgiving turkeys. That's up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you at the beginning of March in 2024. So if you guys have been following us along, you know that we have an established desert farm at this point here in Arizona. We've been working on since 2020. Now, we have several different things that we grow here specifically for customers. So one of the things that we actually raise here for customers would be Thanksgiving turkeys. So what we're going to be sharing with you today is how we're going to be establishing this pasture for turkeys that won't even be here until the end of summer. So we prefer to have our turkeys on pasture. It definitely changes the meat itself and the way it tastes, and it's more natural. It's really what turkeys are designed to do, is munch on greens and bugs, as well, of course, as the feed. So now the area that we're in today, this is actually where we raised our second round of pigs back in 2022. So that's how this ground was actually initially tilled. We've come back over a couple of years and found that sorghum is really our best go-to source of greens for our turkeys because it lasts all the way through summer. They come on the farm here at the end of July, and they'll be on the pasture in September. The challenge that we have with our Thanksgiving turkeys is they arrive onto the farm at the end of summer, and not much really survives through that middle of summer time frame and is green in the fall. Sorghum being an exception. So while sorghum is our primary crop here for our turkeys as far as greens, there's something we're going to be adding to that mix here this year to see if we can continue to build soil. So now the area that we have set aside for turkeys, you'll hear our new hens and unfortunately a rooster in the background. That is the enclosure that we keep them in overnight to keep them safe, but we let them free range out here in the pasture area. So we have this area set up into basically two sections. We have a dry area where we actually keep all of their regular feed and where their enclosure is, and we have the pasture area, which is what we're working in today. Got a good shot of that for you guys from up above so you can see that designation. Now we're here in March, so we have a few things growing naturally as we've started to establish this soil. You'll see down here we have some alfalfa that was completely eaten to the ground last year from the turkeys. We have some sorghum that's left over and starting to come back here slightly early in the spring. We have some mallow, which grows naturally for us here, especially this time of year when we've gotten some rain like we have this winter. And you'll see this stand of what we're gonna actually be starting with here today. So what I have next to me here is actually barley. Now we actually put this in last year. We mixed the barley with alfalfa and sorghum all at the same time in spring. We found pretty quickly that the barley essentially overtook everything and it stunted our sorghum growth. Now the alfalfa grew fine underneath it where it was a little patchy, but this stuff grows really strong and then dies because it goes to seed very quickly like you can see here. So now we didn't seed this. This has grown up into this over the last couple of weeks. These were seeds that were simply dropped down because we let these go completely to seed last year. So what we're gonna do this year is we're actually gonna go ahead and get some of this planted. So we're gonna show you how we prep the ground, how we get it planted, and how we're gonna irrigate this here over the next couple of months to really start prepping this soil for our main sorghum crop in the spring. So pretty simple, all we wanted to do is get this cut down. Most of it's still about 3 or 4 inches tall, but it's very sparse because again, we're just starting to really establish this pasture area. So as we continue to build soil on top of our hard pan dirt, this will continue to get better and better. Now, what we're gonna do next is go ahead and get the barley down. Then we wanna show you what we're gonna be covering that with to make sure we get really good germination. If I spill seed. That's the best seated area on the entire pasture. This is actually bedding from our goats. So we had some rounds of alfalfa that had a lot of kind of leaf material at the bottom. So it actually has been piling up, just aging, and you can see it's actually already starting to break down into soil. So what we're doing is we're taking this and we're really focusing on, well, not only the whole pasture, but also specific areas that we've seen are very dry and we haven't had any good root penetration and they're bare. So we're focusing on those areas, but spreading this as evenly as we can because this is gonna help us. Now, one thing I will say, this has alfalfa in there, and alfalfa can be sprayed with herbicides. So this is not something you're gonna wanna use in a garden bed. But we've got cereal grasses out here and alfalfa and sorghum, things like that. These things are not affected by that at all. They'll push right up through this, so it's not an issue. Now, do I want it there? No, and the reality is it's pretty minimal, but it's the best thing that we have to make sure that we're naturally growing all of this out. So for irrigation, we're sticking with these impact sprinklers. We have one on either side of this square area. Very easy for us to irrigate. We will use these at night, preferably when it's not this windy. Soak these 2 to 3 times a day until it sprouts. Once it does, we'll only need to use this every couple of days, especially here in the spring. So it won't take a tremendous amount of water in order to get this barley to come up. But for today, with the breeze and a beautiful day, I think we'll do it by hand. These should sprout in about a week to 10 days. And then we got 30 to 45, maybe 60 days before this is done and we come back behind it with the sorghum. But that's not today. So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. We cover a lot of things here on this new farm in the Arizona desert and would love to see you on a regular basis. What he was saying is if you have any questions or comments, those go in the comment section down below. And our Amazon shop, I'll leave a link down in the description. That's a free, painless way to help support the channel. If you start with the link down below, it doesn't matter what you buy, you help to support us here. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. So now if you guys have been following us along, you know that we have an established desert farm here in Arizona, and we Hi. I was gonna say we've got a lot of animals that we have for food, and the cat walks in. That's not it. That's not where we're headed. Hey, Cleo. I know, Junior. A lot of those are actually meat. That'll be one of them here shortly. So much like this cat munching on the barley, we've got turkeys coming here at the end of summer. I can't. I was trying to roll that together. It's not working out so good. So not much really survives. I really am ready to put that chicken down. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of our hens. Strange sounding hen, isn't it? Oh yeah, she's leaning in, purring away. Hi, Cleo. Okay, you're in poop. You know that, right? She's like, I love that poop.
She's like, I don't care.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I am mad at you right now.
What happened?
You picked that side because the wind's blowing this way, and I'm gonna spray myself. That was not nice.
I chose it because it was easy for me.
I can't believe you did that.
Like I said, they want to see you on camera, hon.
It's blowing right back at me.
Well, you can go in there.
You are not nice.